On a cold morning in 1957, a man named Albert Anastasia sat down in a barber's chair in a Manhattan hotel. He never stood up again. Two masked gunmen walked in, fired 10 shots, and walked out. No one was ever charged. This wasn't just a murder, it was a message, one written in blood, sent by an empire that ruled America's underworld for nearly a century. This is the story of the American Mafia, how 5 families built a criminal empire out of nothing, and how it all came crashing down. The story begins in the late 1800s with waves of Sicilian and Italian immigrants arriving in America seeking a better life. Instead, many found poverty, discrimination, and overcrowded slums. In Sicily, a centuries-old secret society called the Mafia had already built a code of loyalty, silence, and violence. Immigrants carried that code across the Atlantic. In cities like New York, Chicago, and New Orleans, small criminal gangs began organizing, running protection rackets, gambling dens, and loan sharking operations in immigrant neighborhoods. Then came 1920. The U.S. government banned the sale of alcohol. Prohibition didn't stop Americans from drinking, it just made drinking illegal and enormously profitable for anyone willing to break the law.
Overnight, small-time gangsters became millionaires. Bootlegging alcohol required organization, muscle, and nerve, and Italian-American gangs had all 3. By the early 1930s, gang wars were tearing New York apart. Bloody conflicts like the Castellammarese War left dozens dead. One man saw a better way: Charles "Lucky" Luciano. In 1931, after eliminating his rivals, Luciano did something revolutionary. Instead of ruling alone, he created the Commission, a governing council of crime bosses from New York's 5 families and other major cities, designed to prevent wars and divide territory peacefully. The 5 families, Gambino, Genovese, Lucchese, Bonanno, and Colombo, became the backbone of the American Mafia. Each family had a boss, underboss, and soldiers, all bound by a code of silence known as Omertà. Break it, and the punishment was death. This structure spread nationwide: Chicago, Detroit, Kansas City, Buffalo, each city with its own family, all loosely coordinated through the Commission. The 1940s and 50s became the golden age of the Mafia. When Prohibition ended in 1933, the mob simply pivoted into illegal gambling, loan sharking, labor union corruption, and eventually Las Vegas. Mobster Bugsy Siegel helped transform a desert strip into a gambling paradise, bankrolled by mafia money. Casinos skimmed millions in untaxed cash, funneled straight back to families in New York and Chicago.
The mob infiltrated labor unions, controlling the docks, construction, and trucking industries, meaning almost nothing moved in major American cities without the Mafia getting a cut. By the late 1950s, the Mafia wasn't just a criminal network, it was a shadow economy worth billions, with tentacles in politics, business, and entertainment. But cracks were forming. In 1957, a police raid on a Mafia Summit in Apalachin, New York, exposed the Commission's existence to the public for the first time. America suddenly realized organized crime wasn't a myth, it was a nationwide institution. The government fought back, slowly at first. Attorney General Robert Kennedy made organized crime a top priority in the 1960s. FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover, who had long denied the Mafia even existed, was finally forced to act. But the real turning point came in 1970 with a new law, the RICO Act, the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act. For the first time, prosecutors didn't need to prove a single crime. They could charge an entire criminal organization for a pattern of illegal activity. RICO changed everything. In 1985, the commission case put the bosses of all 5 New York families on trial simultaneously. Prosecutors used wiretaps, informants, and RICO's sweeping power to dismantle the very structure Luciano had built 5 decades earlier. Even flashy figures like John Gotti, the Gambino boss nicknamed the Teflon Don for dodging conviction after conviction, eventually fell. In 1992, his own underboss, Sammy the Bull Gravano, testified against him. Gotti died in prison in 2002. One by one, the pillars fell. Loyalty gave way to plea deals. Omertà gave way to informants. The very code that built the Mafia's power became the thing that destroyed it. Today, the American Mafia still exists, but as a shadow of what it once was. Membership has dropped by an estimated 80% since its peak. The union control, the casino skimming, the citywide rackets, mostly gone, replaced by federal task forces and decades of prosecutions. What remains is legend. Hollywood turned the mob into myth, cementing an image that often overshadows the real human cost. Extortion, violence, and communities held hostage by fear for generations.
The Mafia's rise tells the story of immigrants failed by a system and turning to crime for power. Its fall tells the story of a government finally learning how to fight organized crime on its own terms. The American Mafia ruled through fear, loyalty, and silence, but in the end, it couldn't survive the one thing it never accounted for: change. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of history's most powerful criminal empires, hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because at Liberty Lens, we uncover the stories that shaped the world we live in. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.